What is up, everyone? Rayhatesu here, bring you a ranked game. And I bet you're wondering, wait. You play Smite Thor, don't you? Why are you bottom elo? Well, I play a lot of casual. I'm not one of the most competitive. So this could turn into a combo of a guide, if I get a god I haven't done a video for yet, as well as a ranked game, depending on how it goes. Looks like we're picking two mages, okay. Why we didn't pick Xbalanque, who is the best of Arena, I don't know, but we've just lost two of the most OP gods in the game already. And since Shock isn't banned, the enemy team has him as an option. Oh my god, the cancer. Okay, never mind, they're getting Xbalanque. Well, if we don't pick Ares... Ah, shit. I'm hoping these two know what to pick. GG. I hate retard teams. I know you're probably about to start bashing me like, you're McGird, how you nerd are retards. Well, for starters, Chang'e's OP, Ao Kuang's OP. They're both OP for the same reasons of high magical damage output and wave clear. Yours OP in this just because his stuns are insanely long. Amu's and Cobb can cripple people, but he's not the most balanced BA carry in this. Best one is Xbalanque by far. And if we look at what their damage is going to be, chances are they're about to pick up Ares, Hebo, Vulcan, Xbalanque, and Mercury, a team full of OP gods with relatively decent crowd control. Plus the fact of Ares, which is on its own a pain in the ass. And it looks like enemy 4 has yet to decide on a god, and that's not good. Hades. Okay, we might have a better chance. Hades' ult is escapable. So I've got to pick an assassin. I could go Fenrir, but he's not my best. By a long shot. Could also get Guan Yu or Sun Wukong. Thinking, however, I probably want Thor or Kali. Looks like I'm probably going Thor. So let's go. This is going to be interesting. In its own right. Where I'm going to be doing my very best to keep my team alive with my crowd control and set up damage for Moose and Cobb and Ao Kuang. Let's see what he say. Okay. Whoa, my frame rate just dropped. Shit. That's not good. Never mind. Huh, I'm actually relatively balanced out at 60 frames per second. That's surprising. It's rare that I actually get that. So you can see, though, most of them know their gods, so Xbalanque is really good. Ah, crap. So I'm going to start off with a relatively standard startup for Thor of a set of boots and boozing. Let go, bro. So this is Thor. He in his own right is a relatively powerful assassin. He used to be a tank and then a bruiser, but here's his ability set. Warrior's Madness, which is his passive. Basically, for each enemy that is nearby to him, he gains a physical power buff up to 3. And because of this, he is very strong for just randomly jumping into a fight. However, that doesn't mean he can just solo fight everything and everyone. In fact, quite the opposite. He's the last one you want doing that. Though, he can do his own thing. Because he still gets a physical power buff just by 1v1ing an enemy. Anyway, his one is called Mjolnir's Attunement. Thor throws Mjolnir in a straight line in front of him, damaging all enemies hit in the path. Any enemies hit by Mjolnir take initial damage on the first hit and then double damage on the second. Very useful ability, both for escape and attack, because you can press 1 again to warp to your hammer after it has traveled its full path. Okay, that was rude. That was a dead man. That is also probably a dead man very shortly. Especially that bastard who keeps freaking trying to chip. Specifically that Hebo. Anyway, the 2 is known as Rend the Earth. It will create a small, short wall that will become hard crowd control and stun any enemies along the length of that wall when it is initially placed. Based on the amount of time you have on it, is how long the wall will both stay and stun for. Not to say that these times are equal, just the scales on them are equal. And now, oh, okay, thank God, I don't have mana for my ult. Anyway, oh, apparently it's Tectonic Rift. I just like to call it Rend the Earth because that's what he yells. Now, second item, I'm probably going to get Void Blade here because of all the physical damage on offer. Anyway, the 3 of Thor is known as Berserker Barrage. Thor spins in a circle, damaging all enemies in a radius, or in the radius of it, for a set amount of damage. Goodbye. And that is why you're careful around a Mercury. Do it right and you live. Do it wrong and, well, you're dead. I did it right. And managed to pick off the Xbalanque, who is a very prime target. He now has 2 deaths and hasn't been able to stack his passive, which increases on kills. Anyway, now, Thor's ultimate, as you saw me use in that fight, is Anvil of Dawn. The Anvil of Dawn is a damage boosting ability that will, along with creating massive hell for enemies, pretty much, give you crowd control immunity, and allow you to pretty much escape from fights. Excuse me as I escape from slows. And as you can see, with the stuns in Thor's kit, he is very hard to kill. And his escape, too. Makes him a difficult enemy to slay as an assassin. He can be used to split push, but he is best used in a jungle role, or as a support, but rarely, because of his high single target damage. And as for leveling, it depends on the person. However, personally, I like to level my first my Berserker Barrage, which is the pretty much accepted leveling order, and then I like to level my stun, which is my 2. Sorry, in competitive, I like to always imagine there's a Neath on the enemy team if I'm not the Neath. Fuck that. Oh, that's bad. That is bad. That is bad. And thank you for delivering yourself to me on a silver platter. Motherfucker. Oh, fuck. That hurt. That hurt. That was a bad idea. That was a bad idea. I still am getting kills, and I haven't died, which is really good in competitive. The less you die, the better. The more you do as damage, the better. Overall, it's just very useful not to die. But and well, actually, there went our tank, who is Ymir. And really, he's the one we want to be giving up kills. He's the least farmed. He is the one whose job it is to die. That was a large chunk of damage out of the enemy's health. And that was a fail. Now, do note that we have a lot of damage right now. And we have a very large amount of hard crowd control, where we can stun lock an enemy to death repeatedly, if we are so inclined. However, this takes a lot of proper teamwork, as you can see. We're able to keep ourselves alive. So even though they have really powerful and really OP gods, OP being overpowered, we are able to counter with more regular-ish gods. Oh, I should not have started to ult there, and that's what killed me. I used my Mjolnir's attunement for the attack, and that is what killed me. You see, Mjolnir's attunement is best kept for an escape. Your ult can be used for an escape, but only if you have the time. Like that. Best initiation, though. It is some of the absolute best initiation in the game. And as you can see, we are putting our kit to very good effect right now. Keeping the Vulcan down, keeping the Xbalanque unfed, and everything that we absolutely must do to generally create hell amongst their ranks. And you, son, did a really freaking stupid thing. Now I'm buying my Jotun's Wrath, which gives me full penetration by this point, and all the cooldown reduction that you will really need on Thor for much of the game. Ow! Douche! That hurt. Now, do note, you do need a little CDR on Thor. Whether you get it on your boots or in your Jotun's Wrath really doesn't matter quite as much. Now, if you'll note, my build says I'm maxed out. Really, I'm only by 1 because they really, really oddly freaking did the balancing on Thor. And now, watch a Helboa get raped. Oh fuck. Get juked. And that is how you survive in situations where you really shouldn't be. That was how you survive in situations where you are surely going to die. I don't know how I lived that. So, at this point, my goal is to make sure their Xbalanque stays unfed. An unfed Xbalanque is a wonderful thing. Although, I got fed and then I just died. Mainly because I warped while blind. However, doesn't look like that's going to be quite as much as a problem as you think, because we're pushing heavily. Okay, bub, I'm guessing there! Damn. You missed. Unfortunately, we did lose Ao Kuang. He was doing a lot of our damage, but as you can see, we've got all of our deaths on the same few people, allowing both our Muzen Kab and our Chang'e to retain the maximum gold output they can get. Now that I'm building crits, I'm going to be dealing an insane amount of damage. And now that I'm leveling an ult, that damage will be increased as well. No, you don't get the important ones. You get me. Well, let's see. 3, 2, 1. Initiation! I tried to do something there, but unfortunately I kinda got stuck knocked. And by that I mean I jumped into the wrong location. That's where I died. Oh my... Oh! That looked painful. As you can see though, it's the same 3 people dying. It's not quite as bad as you would think if it was anyone else. If it was anyone else, it might actually hurt us. But since we're the ones that are pretty much expected to die to keep the other 2 alive, it doesn't matter quite as much. Okay. Peace. That was a situation I did not want to remain in. Right there. That was a near-death, actually no, certain death situation. Where if I stayed any longer than I did, I was going to die. It all comes down to placement. If you can get yourself where you need to be when you need to be there, you're going to be fine. That is the perfect time to place that stun right there. And I freaking just kept pressing 5 instead of 4. I'm an idiot. Okay, well, this gives me very good reason to start building protection item for mages, because as you can see, magical damage is a lot of their damage, and I've got more physical than magical. As you can see, even Ymir is not building that, and that's part of the reason why he's dying a lot. But again, I'm not the most fed on our team. That's why, even though you don't really want to give up kills in this, there are some kills where it's more acceptable than others. What the fuck is he building that's got him? Of course, he's got knock. Go figure. All of them have some form of protection or heal. To some extent. Boop! And that is called hyper cleanup. I should have stopped hitting him there, but I tried. So very hard to kill him. Anyway, here I'm going to get a shield, because that's going to keep me alive in this. And I'm really getting distracted because I've got a few friends in a chat program to the side who keep pinging me because they're trying to talk without using voice commands. Oh well, that's annoying. So it's a pretty good run so far. We're actually pretty well trashing them, surprisingly, considering our team composition. What it comes down to in these games isn't so much the team composition, always, as how well the team plays. And that was a bad move. I missed my stun, and that killed me. I missed my placement on my hammer, and that's what killed me there. And for some reason, Chunga thinks we're throwing the game. No. That was me just failing. It looks like, oh, Muzenkov finally died. Damn it. We really needed to keep our carry alive there, so that's kind of bad. I'm finally building into Deathbringer. I probably could have finished it before Shield, but I'm recognizing the fact that magical damage is a lot larger percent of what I'm taking at the moment. And I have a feeling my ping is freaking spiking out of control now. Ow, that hurt. That was a good finish. No really good to go, so I finished my duration in base so I can get heal from it. And there you can see Vulcan's getting desperate. It's 81 to 33. It's down to the last parts of the game. I can't really afford to jump in and farm all that clearly. Now, once it gets to the last handful of tickets, all that matters are the big minions and kills. It's either 2 kills to win, or 10 giant minions. As you can see, they're focusing on the kills because they have to catch up badly. All the while, we are focusing on trying to kill other members of their team. We just finished Mercury off there, so now it's down to the last 10 tickets. All that matters are minions and kills. Now, let's see, where is it? Damn it, I died before I could kill it. That was my bad, but all that matters is that I get that big minion. And it looks like that's it. So, as you can see, it gets pretty down to the wire in here. I probably could have gotten beads and we'd do much better, but it wasn't that bad of a game overall. I did my fair share of damage, and my fair share, or at least I attempted to. Thor is more of a crowd control based character of an assassin. He can do damage late game, but really you just want to be there to soak up the damage and be there to support your team. As you can see, I took almost the same amount of damage as Ymir, and while we did die the same amount of times, remember, I'm an assassin, so the fact that I took that much and only died that much, it's actually rather impressive. So, nice giving you this video. As you can see, looking at Muzen Cobb, he also noticed how damaging they are and bought Shield of Regrowth, the other side of Runic Shield, which with his hives is very useful stack, even though that's only healing. As you can see, I was doing much more physical damage, and I was doing much more true damage, because he built Jotun's Wrath and Warrior Tabai only, and Jotun's only has 11 pen. You get a little more from Executioner, but he went a little too high attack speed, in my opinion. Wasn't bad build, but it could have been better. The boots of celerity on Ymir, too, weren't really necessary. He could have gone tank boots, but the extra movement speed did help out vastly in this game. So, here's both my Thor guide and an insight into Ranked Arena. I've been rayhatesu. Look, if you want to find me on Smite, look up Watsuki. Take care, have a nice day.